Hello and welcome. This is Fireworks on TVC. The political atmosphere in Ondo State is charged currently as gladiators position themselves to get more wins from the people. Of course, elections are about the people and the need to serve them better. But what are the factors that inform prioritizing interests above political parties or sometimes interests above the people? These questions I'll put through to my guest today, who happens to be one of the contenders in the coming election. Welcome to the program. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Glad you could join us on Fireworks. So my guest today is the governorship candidate of the African Democratic Congress for the coming Ondo governorship election 2020, Prince Dapo Adelegan. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
So it's just a few days away. How confident are you that the electoral umpire has provided a level playing field for all actors, all candidates in the coming governorship election?
I think we must give kudos to the preparations that INEC has done. They have done everything in voters' education, against money vote buying, against thuggery, against violence, and to ensure that the rules of engagement are clear to everybody. And we were hosted by the INEC chairman and the Inspector General of Police to a stakeholders meeting yesterday in Akure, where all the gubernatorial candidates were meant to be present with the chairman of their party. At least we had about 70–75% attendance. And it was also reiterated that this is going to be a free and fair election, and technology security have been deployed to ensure that we have each free election. So to that extent, I think we should give kudos to INEC, and we're expecting that in spite of the violence and the current situation of crisis that may precede the election proper will be a peaceful and an eventful one.
Good to know that you're satisfied with the process. Now, you've been quoted as saying that your party has what it takes to transform Ondo State from the bad position it currently is in. Now, the incumbent, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, is your kinsman. You're both from Owo. Why do you criticize your kinsman?
Look, my senior brother, for that matter, and tradition in Yoruba land, Bazanomoluabi, I cannot be rude to him. I acknowledge his contribution as a governor, his distinguished senior advocate of Nigeria, and we thank him for what he has done in Ondo State. What I've always said is that the situation of the world global economy and Nigerian economy, and therefore the situation of the Ondo State economy, it requires extraordinary skills in these extraordinary times. And that the most important issue is not politics, but governance. And that we need the right kind of capacity, competence, and the compassion to dimension our situation and help to transform the economy of our state.
Extraordinary skills, extraordinary competence that you have and he does not have? Is that what you're trying to say?
I said we're in extraordinary times and it requires extraordinary skills. Ondo State at this very moment requires an economic manager. And when I talk about economy, I'm not talking of politics, I'm talking of governance. And we have had politics in our state for many years. A lot of our governors have done their very best, but the situation today is that if except we have an economic manager as governor, our economy, which is probably even bigger than Lagos, will continue to teeter at the periphery of total failure. We have no jobs for our graduates. Everything, we have no water, we have no roads. Accra is a rural town and is the capital of an oil-producing state. We have no single industry.
So are you saying that we do not have an economic manager currently at Alagbaka House?
We don't have an economy. We're still without an economy. We rely solely on federal allocation. And lately, the government has even told university institutions to go and borrow money and use their buildings as collateral. It's not even sure of the salary payment. So if a situation exists where a state as rich as Ondo State, with the amount of natural and human resources we have, even given our geography and the billions of goods that passes every day to the south and southeast, and we cannot design a way to derive economic benefits from this huge traffic of goods and people that are transversing, not to talk about human material, then it simply means that we need to change and put people who understand that. It's not a chieftaincy title.
But the incumbent has built a cassava processing factory. He's built an egg processing factory. His efforts to diversify the economy of Ondo State are discernible. He's also built a state-of-the-art complex to revolutionize internal revenue generation service in the state. So his efforts to transform Ondo State's economy are discernible.
No, no doubt about it. He has given his best. But we need more because we're in an extraordinary period. Today, the economy of Nigeria is 74% down. 7 out of 10 factories are closed. In Ondo State, students at home, they can't even afford the reduced school fees. A level 10 officer in Ondo State has 4 children. He has 60,000 a month. That salary is not consistent, and you're supposed to send 4 children to the university. We have said we're going to offer student loan. We are going to offer student loan, particularly for students that have admissions into sciences, technology, education, engineering, mathematics, and agriculture. We have to redefine and rejig our educational infrastructure. This 21st century is a robotic century. It's customers, there are no jobs, only customers.
Prince Adelegan, if you do become governor, would see how well you perform in those areas. You were once a member of the APC, and you tried to get the ticket on that platform. What informed your defection?
No, the moment the party decided in its wisdom that indirect primaries is what they're going to give us, in spite of direct primaries that we had in Edo, that we had in Kogi State, it was clear that they were giving the governor a carte blanche. He has the knife and the yam, even though there are cases in court challenging the structures, but we know that once the party gives its incumbent an indirect primary, is giving him a second term. So, and all of us agree.
Your belief in the vision of the All Progressives Congress at the time was predicated on whether it could allow you fuel your political ambition or not. So if it could not, you had to seek other means to actualizing your ambition.
One of the realities of politics is that, when you have a mission and a vision, not an ambition. I don't have an ambition. I have a mission. I've been in business for 33 years, self-employed. I have impacted on many industries in this country. I have marketed Nigeria since 1999 all over the world. I've been president of the biggest chamber in the country. So I'm not just coming in to come and play politics. I was coming in to come and play governance and transform our economy. So once the party decided that the incumbent was given a carte blanche, it was incumbent on me to find a platform that will allow me to articulate my vision. And don't forget, every 4 years, no matter the level of performance of any governor, it is incumbent on society to allow other people to come in so that our voters can have different perspectives and make their choice. But those people are going to make the choice at the end of the day. If the governor has done well, they will give it to him, and I will congratulate him. If he has not done well, it is their inalienable right.
So if you hadn't won the governorship ticket of the ADC, you'd have yet defected again.
No, what I'm saying is that the ADC gave it to me. And if I didn't have the ADC ticket, you won't be inviting me to speak on your television program. Okay, because I won't be a candidate. I wanted to be a candidate. I wanted people to listen to what I have to say, which is about governance, not politics. Now, it is the choice of those people at the end of the day to determine who they want to be, whether the incumbent, my brother, should continue or give an opportunity to me to bring in a new perspective. Because, like I told you, it's not a chieftaincy title. It's not a family title. It's about service. It's about governance. And I mean, when one person does well, it's retained. When it doesn't do, they remove it and put another one there. As simple as that. That is
so politics. Why is the ADC the most ideal party for you to field your governorship interests?
As a matter of fact, when after the election, there were many parties that came to me to offer me the platform, maybe because they've had how the programs and the ideas I have, they were new, they were different, and I consulted, I prayed about it, and even with the ADC was not the most perfect party, but I needed a platform. And it was the closest ideologically to my social welfareism content, that the whole essence of business, if it's democracy is for the people, by the people, and by the people, it is simply about the people. It means we need a government that has competence, capacity, and compassion. So that's why I settled for ADC.
So where are the founding fathers of your party, which was touted to be the much-needed third force at the time of its inception not too long ago? Where are the founding fathers of your party?
Well, political trajectory in Nigeria is an evolution. You can ask the same question, where are the founding fathers of APC or PDP? Many of them have crossed over to other parties. So, for example, the greatest thing was that even the deputy governor sitting now in APC is not in APC. He went to PDP, he went to ZLP, the heavens have not fallen. So if people have moved from ADC away from it to other parties, or some have gone, it is not an issue. Look, my dear sister, the situation of our country today, we need to look at the issues. We should not start dealing with issues that are not very relevant to the comfort of our people. If Ondo State, as the capital of an oil-producing state, does not have water, there's no water in the capital.
Let's stick with the African Democratic. Let's stick with the African Democratic Congress.
Yes, please. Let us finish.
So you can't even tell us categorically whether the founding fathers of your party, former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, those also identified with your party in the past, Chief Patitomi, you can't tell us categorically whether they still believe in the vision of your party. Were they in Ondo State during the campaigns to hold your hands up as the flag bearer of the ADC during your campaigns? Do they still believe in the vision of your party?
Yes. My sister, I do not have... Please, I told you my party is a social restorative party. Where the leaders and the founders are, I do not know. If I know, it is not a discussion for this discussion. This discussion is about the campaign for 2020 and what I have to deliver to the people of Ondo State. And I think if you ask me questions along that line, I will oblige you. But those issues that you've asked me, if I begin to go into them, we'll spend the entire 25 minutes talking about politics in Nigeria. All I want to talk about is governance.
So are you also using the ADC to field your ambition, acquire some popularity and boost your CV?
My CV is a very robust CV with all sense of humility. There is nobody, even including the governor, that can stand beside my CV. You need to check that out. I have not made my name in politics, I've made it in business and enterprise. I've impacted on many industries in this country by the grace of God. I've marketed Nigeria since 1999. I've championed, I've run the biggest economic chamber in this country. I still sit on it. So what I'm bringing is governance, is capacity, is my exposure, is my network to bring about the transformation of the economy of Ondo State. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. It's not a popularity contest. I'm more popular than even the governor in this country, even in the media, and that is true with all sense of humility. But that is not the issue. I've only come to say, this is my state, this is my fatherland. It is time after 33 years of self-employment and impact on many other states in the country and the federal government and the central government itself. I need to lend my voice to the transformation of the people. And that's what I'm doing.
But your party garnered a mere 2% or even less of the entire votes at the last election. So what makes you confident that you're going to perform any better in the coming election in 2020?
My dear sister, whatever the outcome of the election is in October 10, it is the choice of the Ondo State people. The people deserve the government that they bring in. If they decide that my brother has done well enough to continue, I will congratulate him. If they decide somebody else apart from myself has become governor, I will be available to assist them in dimensioning the economic opportunity of the state and transforming it. If God says this is me, nobody can change it. So it is not my choice. I have to offer myself. The Constitution guarantees all of us that we need to come out every 4 years and present our agenda and allow the people to make their choice. So the choice is the people of Ondo State, and I know that come October 10, by the grace of God, they will make the right choice.
So based on your response, can I say that that's an early admission of defeat? You know that you're going to lose.
No, that can't be. I speak English. I read English at the university. You're reading between the line and betwixt. I said what the decision about who becomes governor on October 10 is not mine or any of the candidates. We're only candidates. It is the people that will determine it. Nobody, even the incumbent cannot determine he must be a governor. It's not a chieftaincy title. It's not a family title. The people must be given the opportunity to choose their leader, and they will live with the consequences of their choice. I've said it. If my brother is the one, I will congratulate him. If there's any other person, I will congratulate them. If any of them say, and if it is me, they will congratulate me. And even if it's not me, whoever becomes governor in Ondo State, with the right kind of invitation, I am available to assist in the transformation of my state. That is my overarching objective for coming out as a governorship candidate.
But nationally, and even in Ondo State, It is the perception, it is the widely held notion that the 2020 governorship race is a three-horse race in Ondo State between the All Progressives Congress, the ruling party, the People's Democratic Party, and the Zenith Labour Party that is led by the former governor of the state, Olusegun Mimiko. So how do you think your message will resonate with the people of Ondo State, which amidst a governorship election that is already decided amongst that tripod?
That is speculation. That's speculation. You don't know what will happen. So let's wait till October 10. And let's see what I've told you. Whoever the people choose, rightly or wrongly, it is their right. And they will live with the consequences. It is not for me to speculate. What the Constitution affords is that all parties are equal before the law. We have 17 parties, and each of those contenders are qualified to be governor of Ondo State. Nobody has the monopoly of wisdom. No. So let us wait till October 10 and not let's speculate that only 3 or 4 are the ones that are prepared or the ones that have won, except there's things we don't know. But if it is going to be, we have an independent umpire, we have electorates who are going to make their vote known on the 10th. We should wait for that. The fact that the 3 big parties are big does not preclude that the ones that are not big today will become big tomorrow. There was ACN, there was AG, there was CMPP, there was CPC. Where are they today? So the party today that is not big may be big tomorrow. Alliances even can come between parties to be big. So politics is dynamic. I think it's important that we should not speculate. We should allow the people to choose their leaders.
So what are the fundamental programs that you are offering the people of Ondo State that you think the incumbent has not already implemented or even thought of?
No, I need to correct the perception. We are not here to fight or to challenge what the incumbent has done. You see, government goes and government is a continuum. I mean, before he came in, somebody was there. He did a couple of things. He did well in very many areas. Kedolu has also come. He's done his own bits. So it's everybody comes, they do their own, build on the foundations, and then go away. So if I do not say, I mean, the things he has done, I acknowledge them, even in public. I acknowledge the fact that he's done the best of it. You can't give what you don't have. He's done his best. The things I want to work on are basically 4 issues. I call them the Ondo advantage. Number 1, the economy of Ondo State. We want to transform, open up, and globalize the opportunities in Ondo State. From the southern area, we have maritime industry, we have oil and gas, we have a transport logistic hub, or it will become our Chicago. It will become the hub of goods from Lagos to the southwest. Currently, over 10 billion amount of goods manufactured and imported transverse or part of Ondo State to the south, and the southeast, we do not derive any economic value. All we do is sell pounded yam and bushmeat, and the people will go. We want to transform it, invite manufacturers and importers to put bonded warehouses in Ore, and invite logistics companies so that those goods going to the southeast can stay in Ore for a day or 2, and we can derive our economy. Number 2, in the same south, a refinery was negotiated out of Ondo State by some people. I would not want to mention their name today, but that refinery will come back if by His grace we are given power, because we have the network and the capacity, and we have the confidence of corporate Nigeria to bring back investment in refinery back into Ondo State. We have a seaport that the governor has done a lot of work in preparing ground for his emergence. We will ensure we fast track that in partnership with the MPA and the federal government so that we can have a deep sea port that has a containerized port and a port for cruises. So that the entire belt, that will even attract what I'm talking about in terms of making our economic capital while Akure remains our political capital. In the center of Ondo State, where you have a lot of cash crops like cocoa, cassava, teak, palm kernel, and so on, we will build 6 economic centers around the 6 borders of Ondo State. Ondo State is 4.5 million population.
Prince Adelegan, these are lofty programs, but amidst a pandemic and dwindling resources from the federal government and even internally generated revenue, how do you hope to achieve this amid scarce resources?
If you allow me to finish the plans we have economically, but let me even break and talk about funding. That is the absence of increased revenue from the federal government, the absence of IGR in Ondo State is the reason why we need to industrialize. We need to attract industries. We don't even have to go internationally. Locally, we can attract industries. Or Shagamu, for example, is having bragging rights as an industrial city. It is because it has gas from the Escravos. The pipeline that brought the gas from Escravos to Shagamu passes through Ondo State, passes through Ore. So if we have bonded warehouses in Ore, in a year or two, if we're able to get them gases, they become manufacturing hubs. That's number one. Number two, we will not borrow money to set up industries. It's going to be private partnership. And I've told you, the private sector have refused to come to Ondo State because the noise and the optics from Ondo State is that we're a politically volatile state. We will change that. We want to bring Ondo State to become an economically active state. Look, there are Ondo State multi-billionaires and industrialists all over this country. They don't even invest in Ondo State because they're afraid that when the politics come, it will evolve the violence. We will change that. We will ensure we have inclusive government, a unity government when we come in. So for the next 4 years, the temperature of our political issue will stop, and we can all focus on rebuilding the economic infrastructure of our state.
Prince Dapo Adelegan, we thank you very much. We must wrap it up now. You have our best wishes on Saturday and in future endeavors. Thank you very much for your contributions and your time on Fireworks.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that does it on today's edition of the program. We thank you for watching. Until next week, when we bring you another edition of the program, I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Bye for now.